Hello, I'm Marcy Salak, and I'll be introducing you to our case study of Maersk Line in social media. In 2013, Maersk Line was the world's largest shipping container company and had a market share of between 15 to 17%. Maersk Line is the subsidiary of Maersk Group, a group of shipping and energy companies. Maersk began its venture into social media in 2011, led by Jonathan Wickman. Wickman did not receive support from a manager for over a year. Despite not having much support behind him, Wickman led the company to win the Community Presence in Social Media Award at the 2012 European Digital Communication Awards and the Social Media Campaign of the Year award. Maersk Line has been impacted by social media in many ways. We'll discuss these impacts throughout our case study.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to be walking you through Merck's social media strategy and their plan, and then how they executed that. So, for Merck's social media strategy, it wasn't just about marketing, it was about redefining how B2B companies communicate. They really focused on customer values, offering transparency, that really behind the scenes access, as well as educational content that really resonated with both their clients and their broader maritime community. This wasn't about pushing products for them, it was about building that trust. In terms of lifetime values, Merck's approach helped deepen relationships by engaging not only on current customers, but also future stakeholders like students, employees, industry influencers. They created a long-term brand affinity. This increased retention and made it harder for customers to switch to competitors. On the promotion side of things, Merck made a bold move. They minimalized paid advertising and leaned on their own media. Um, their content was authentic and often created by the employees there and tailored to each platform. For example, Instagram was used for visual storytelling, LinkedIn for thought leadership, and Facebook for community building. What's most powerful is that Merck didn't measure success by vanity metrics. They really focused on that engagement piece, their sentiment, and their quality of their interactions. This strategy only elevated their brand, but also set new standards for B2B communication in a traditionally conservative industry. In short, Merck's line turned communication into strategic assets, one that enhanced customer values, extended lifetime relationships, and really redefined how promotion in B2B. Thank you.
So, how does Maersk Line's social media strategy contribute to building strong customer value and increasing customer lifetime value? Well, while Maersk is a giant in global shipping, it's their digital strategy that's turning heads in the world of business to business marketing. What is customer value? Well, it refers to the perceived benefits customers gain from a relationship with a company, whereas customer lifetime value represents the total revenue a business can expect from a single customer over time. Maersk uses two strategies: engagement and storytelling. In fact, one of Maersk's smartest moves is to humanize a traditional industrial sector. Instead of just promoting services, Maersk shares real stories like crew life on ships, global adventures, and environmental efforts. And this type of storytelling, it builds emotional connection, which increases the perceived value and long-term loyalty. Maersk also maintains a strategic presence on all of their social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Pinterest because each platform serves a unique audience from logistics professionals to everyday enthusiasts. Their consistent, tailored messages keeps them visible and relevant. Social media for Maersk also serves as a powerful feedback tool. Maersk actively monitors comments from their customers as well as messages to understand customer pain points, their needs, to adapt to services, and to respond to their customers in real time. This interaction builds trust and reduces churn, which in turn maximizes the customer lifetime value. With minimal initial investment, Maersk achieved massive engagement, which is proof that their powerful communication doesn't have to be expensive. Their early social strategy cost just under $100,000, but it delivered results worth millions in customer connections. Perhaps most impressive is how Maersk has nurtured a vibrant online community. This network turns customers into brand advocates who share content, they offer feedback, and they build loyalty organically, which again helps to boost the customer value and the customer lifetime value. So, Maersk's social media success isn't just by happenstance, it's strategy. By humanizing their brand, listening to their customers, and building community, they're not shipping containers, they're shipping value across every touch point.
So, what really made their social media strategy so successful? I would say there's five big drivers behind it. First, they had a clear goal, and it wasn't to sell more, but it was rather to build visibility for their consumers and to make them feel more connected to a global company. This shift in focus compared to their competitors really made a huge difference. Secondly, they didn't hold back with the visual insights. Ships at sea, ports, even wildlife, things that you wouldn't really think would work on Instagram, but really did. They made the brand feel more alive and interesting. Third, they remained true to their storytelling, not just post corporate updates. Instead, they swapped stories from the people that worked directly on their ships and ports. They shedded the light on their operational family. Fourth, they were strategic about how they used each of their social media platforms. This meant that they weren't just copying and pasting the same content across all pages, rather, they were actually customizing it. Everything had its place, and they played to each platform's strengths. And last, the company tracked what did and did not work. It wasn't just guesswork. They used data to improve their content and to show that the company's social media was actually worth the investment. So overall, they nailed it by being authentic, strategic, and creative, not what you'd expect from a shipping giant. And that's exactly why it worked.
Hello, everyone. My name is Marcus Mitchell Toussaint, and I'll be addressing how Jonathan Vickman calculated a 1,500% return on investment from the company's Facebook marketing efforts, and whether or not that figure holds up to scrutiny. Vickman likely arrived at the 1,500% ROI by using a widely cited 2010 Virtue study that valued each Facebook like for a B2B brand at approximately $3.60 per year in earned media. With Maersk Line gaining over 600,000 Facebook fans in its first year and spending less than 100,000 on its social media efforts, Vickman simply multiplied the number of fans by the $3.60 estimate, arriving at a total earned media value of over $2 million. When you compare that to the modest initial budget, the return on investment appears to be approximately 1,500%. While that number is impressive, I believe it's important to look critically at the assumptions behind it. Vickman himself acknowledged that only about 22% of fans were actual customers, so applying the full value of every like could overstate the true impact. Moreover, the $3.60 estimate comes from a generic industry benchmark. It is not tailored to Maersk's specific business model, customer lifetime value, or actual conversion rates. That said, I do believe the ROI was substantial, whether or not it was precisely 1,500%. Beyond fan counts, Maersk's social media presence enhanced brand perception, strengthened employee pride, and even helped reduce customer service costs, as followers sometimes resolved each other's questions before staff had to step in. According to internal research, over 67% of surveyed users said Maersk's social media efforts improved their perception of the company. In summary, even if the exact financial ROI may be debatable, the strategic return, measured in awareness, engagement, cultural change, and operational efficiency, was clearly transformative. Vickman's work laid the foundation for what is now seen as a benchmark for effective B2B social media strategy. Thank you.
Hi, I am Marissa Katnich, and I'll be covering prompt number 4 for case study number 2. Let me start with the liner shipping industry is incredibly competitive and also very sensitive to demand and supply changes. To remain competitive, carriers must compete on price, network, quality of service, and also increasingly on their ability to minimize environmental impact. Deciding how to promote these various factors is key when developing a social media strategy. Maersk proved that it engineered a successful social media strategy through strategic promotion decisions tailored to its target audiences. They developed a framework based on being authentic, engaging and empowering their employees, leveraging and optimizing various platforms, and using metrics and KPIs to evaluate their success. This underlying framework is transferable across businesses and industry, making it repeatable by its competitors. As a result, it is likely that Maersk's competitors will carefully analyze the successful social media plan that Maersk executed and adapt it for their own purposes. While it is true, it is difficult to determine whether a successful social media strategy translates into more bookings, it undoubtedly gives brand recognition and a platform to showcase the various positive initiatives being undertaken by the company, making them stand out in comparison to their competitors. Maersk will need to prepare for their competitors' reaction in several ways. One, they will need to continue to be a thought leader and push boundaries. They will also need to explore and leverage new and emerging platforms. Social media is in a constant state of flux, and they need to stay relevant. Last, Maersk will need to continue to tailor their communications to remain effective by humanizing their engagement with businesses.
Hi everyone, my name is Mark Timbers and I'm going to be addressing what Maersk Line should do next in its social media strategy and where the company should focus moving forward. Thus far, Maersk has been incredibly effective at using social media to tell its story. It's built trust with customers by being open, human, and surprisingly creative, especially for a B2B brand. Now their next step is to move forward from experimentation stage to a more strategic and integrated approach. So first, Maersk should formally align its social media with the broader marketing efforts. That means integrating it into a full integrated marketing communications plan. The social shouldn't just remain on its own. It needs to be there to support key business goals like the service updates, any rate changes, or sustainability messaging, and work alongside those paid and direct communication channels. They should also lean more heavily into LinkedIn. Their own customer surveys have shown that that's where their clients are preferring to engage. And it's also the right platform for leadership, product updates, and professional discussion. Building out forums like the Shipping Circle will help to deepen their relationships and collect valuable feedback at the same time. Furthermore, their social media should continue to support customer service. Obviously, we've already seen that peer interaction on platforms like Facebook reduces support costs and boosts satisfaction. But a more structured approach like dedicated response teams can turn this into a more scalable advantage. Maersk should also focus on localizing content. There are different regions and customer segments that have differing needs. Tailoring posts by geography or customer type can help make the content more relevant and more effective. Finally, they should invest in better analytics and attribution, understanding what actually drives the business outcomes, whether that could be leads, loyalty, or customer lifetime value, will help justify any future spending and refine their strategy. So in summary, Maersk Foundation is very strong, but they have a lot of opportunity to build on it with more structure, insights, and continued focus on their customer.
Maersk Line's entry into social media has impacted their Since the case study was written, Maersk has continued to grow their social media presence. They now have 3.1 million followers in Facebook, 446,000 on Instagram, and 139,900 on Twitter. In 2022, Maersk was overtaken as the largest shipping company in the world by Mediterranean Shipping Company, also known as MSC. Maersk had held the title for over 25 years. Both companies have 17% market share, but MSC has a larger shipping capacity. While MSC has centered its approach on growth and profitability, Maersk has taken another approach. Maersk is now focusing on becoming an integrated logistics company and does air freight, trucking, warehousing, and port operations along with its shipping containers. With this approach, Maersk will be able to entice customers by being a one-stop shop for all their shipping needs and further the reach of their company. Thank you for listening to our case study.